Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Joshua Koko, and this is the HardLock podcast, and we're proudly sponsored by Esomart Hypermarket, and we are also at studios in Varadi shooting this. And ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you, for all your grocery shopping, for all your appliances, for all your kids' fun moments, go to Esomart Supermarket right here in Arua Town, at the heart of Arua Town. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. We are here tonight on the show joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us one more time. My name is Joshua, like I told you earlier on, and this is the HardLock podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we have tonight the one and only Shamdul joining us for an amazing interview. I can't wait for that interview. Also, our t-shirts are here, ladies and gentlemen. You can grab them at only 35,000 Ghana shillings. And ladies and gentlemen, it's official that we are going to print collared t-shirts. For those of you who said, no, we don't want these round necks now, it is official. We're going to bring collared t-shirts. And ladies and gentlemen, the prices are very, very affordable, and I'll let you know exactly how much they are. And also, we got feedback from some of you who are saying that, you know what, would love to support this show, would love to give in to you. You're doing an amazing job for our region, and that is why we would like to support you. So please run the telephone number on this screen how we can support you. And I can assure you, and this is a promise, that this came from one of the fans. This is not from me. And ladies and gentlemen, any support that you can give us for the show, we so much appreciate it. So the telephone numbers running on the screen right now, ladies and gentlemen, these are two telephone numbers. One registered, the MTN registered under my personal name. It's only Joshua Godfrey. Yes, that's my name. Yeah, let that sink in. The Airtel, though, is not registered in my name. It's registered in the name of a female. Don't worry about that. And that is Caroline. The name is registered Caroline something. And don't worry about that. But just go ahead, support the show. Whether it's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, it is what it is. Now, let's get to the good and downright ugly segment of this particular week, ladies and gentlemen, because we have an amazing interview. I might not waste a lot of your time today with the good and downright ugly. Starting with the Grammy Awards, ladies and gentlemen, Ugandan singer Idrissa Musuza, also known as Eddie Kenzo, has actually missed out on being the very first Ugandan to win the prestigious Grammy Awards. He was nominated in the 65th Annual Grammy Awards in the category for Best Global Music Performance for his song Gimme Love, featuring American singer Matt B. Now, Kenzo faced a lot of competition from so many artists, including Arud's Aftab and Anushka Shankara. Also, Burna Boy was also there with his song Last. And we had Wuta Kellerman, Zax, Bantwini, and Nomkebo Zikode. Now, some of these names, I might be pronouncing them wrongly, but it is what it is. The award, however, went to South Africa's Wute Kellerman, Zex Bantwini, and Nomkebo Zikode. After losing, Eddie Kenzo actually didn't seem to be very disappointed, because he went straight on his social media platforms and thanked all Ugandans for giving him all the support. Now, also related, let's speak about Burna Boy and also the Grammy Awards as well. Now, diehards of Burna Boy across the world are grieving so much over the loss of this Grammy Awards for Burna Boy. The incredible Afrobeat giant, who was nominated in two categories, unfortunately lost both of them, allegedly to non-influential artists. He lost the first category, termed Best Global Music Album, to an anime album. And the worst of all that pained people so much was where Eddie Kenzo himself was also in the category Best Global Music Performance, that had the likes of Eddie Kenzo and the rest. Now, in this particular category, Burna Boy was actually nominated for his song Last. Now, so many fans have come out and said the song that actually won is sung by Wuta Kellerman, Zex Bantwini, and Nomkebo Zikode. This song, so many people are saying that it does not even come anywhere close to Burna Boy's Last. It was one of the biggest jams of the decade so far. Even Burna Boy himself went on social media and also said, you know what, man, this was crazy. And he went on, he posted actually on his Instagram story, and was saying that, yes, somehow insinuating that he was actually cheated of this prestigious award. But it is what it is. Next time, better for this guy. But however, Thames actually won an award. She's actually the very first non-mixed Nigerian to ever win this award. So it is a big deal for Thames. She's new in the industry, but she's doing an amazing job. And finally, a very sad story that we're getting here, right here, is that singer Joseph Mayanja, also known as Jose Chameleon, has postponed his Gwanga Muje concert with just few hours to the much anticipated concert. A very heavy downpour hit Kampala and its other environments, destroying the stage at Lugo Creator Oval that was set for this particular concert on Friday. Now, the stage that was set up by Steve Jeans, Phenon Records, was blown to the ground by the storm that came with the Friday afternoon downpour. Whereas revelers had actually started arriving for the concert, now the organizers deemed it so unfit for the show to continue since the stage had been completely brought down and the ground at Lugogo was extremely soggy. Speaking to journalists, now the singer said he had prepared well for the concert, but said the storm was beyond his control, but promised to return with a bang. Now, let's immediately switch to where we're going to have an interview with Shamdul, and you hear exactly how motivational this woman is. But before we get there, I'm just going to show you quickly a preview of Shamdul's Food Hub before we get to the interview. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Joshua Koko, and this is the HardLock podcast. This place actually just located behind Bank of Uganda, Arua. That's where you'll find the Shamdul Food Hub. Now that you've seen the place, like I've been marketing throughout the week now, we have the lady herself in the building, the hustle queen. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Shamdul right here on the HardLock podcast. Karibu do. Morali yarusiro. Quick one here, ladies and gentlemen. Shamdul is called Bako Shamim, and that is her full names. And this lady is actually a graduate of Chambogo University. She studied procurement and logistics management and graduated in 2016. And so this, my guest, ladies and gentlemen, is just not a food hub person. This is someone who has also learned. Shamdul, you're most welcome on the show.
Thank you so much.
How are you feeling?
Amazing. I'm fine. This is very good innovation.
Yeah,
you should keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I pray it grows into
we
something
pray.
bigger.
We pray too. Now, how is 2023 treating you so far?
2023 is amazing. I'm not complaining.
Wow. We know you as the hustle queen, the hustler, Shamdul, the one on social media. Sometimes she slays a little bit. Sugar mommy without sugar. Who really is a Shamdul professional and also in your hustle world?
Shamdul, like you said earlier, is Bako Shamim, graduate from Chambogo University,
Yes.
Graduate of Procurement and Logistics Management.
Wow.
I graduated in 2016, December 14th, I remember.
Those moments you can't forget them.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Shamdul was derived from my dad's other name, Abdul.
Okay.
Shamandul. So
Shamim and Abdul.
Yeah,
Oh.
Shamdul. So it's an amazing name. It's unique, and everyone falls for it. So I really love to be called Shamdul.
It's a brand.
I know.
It's a brand that you've built.
Yes.
This is awesome. Now, you have your name on Facebook. When I was trying to tag you on the post, it was Shamdul Faith. And you're called, in your introduction, you said you are Shamim.
Bako Shamim.
Bako Shamim. I'm confused. Are you Muslim? Are you Christian? What's happening for someone who is curious?
I'm an Anglican.
Wow.
Yes, I'm an Anglican. I'm a very proud one. So I was born a Muslim. When we were in senior six, they used to give a small room for the Christians to pray.
The SU, Scripture Union.
I would go there and sing with those guys.
Wow.
So the mosque would somehow crucify me. They would be like, Shamdul, you're not doing Shamim, you're not doing the right thing. But I felt this was a calling, you know. So when I reached campus, I withdrew from the mosque. I started going to church.
Wow.
But because I was not yet ready to tell my mother, it was in 2017 that I actually opened up and I told her, Mommy, you know what? I don't think I am comfortable in the mosque.
What was her reaction like?
Wow, my mom was so cool, like, She was so okay. She was like, okay. So I told her, she asked me, now where do you pray from? I told her I pray from St. Philip's.
Wow.
I had to start going for my baptism classes.
Wow.
And in 2018, June, on the 10th of June, I became Faith.
Yes.
Yeah, so they asked me, what name do you want us to call? I said, I want to be called Faith. And that name Faith has impacted so much. I have so much faith in God. I have so much faith in myself, in my business.
Wow.
And yes, and
that's awesome. That's awesome. So that is the history of how Shamdul Shamim is now called Faith on Facebook. For my international audience and national audience that are here, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to tell you that Shamdul operates something called the Shamdul Food Hub. In a minute, how did the Food Hub start about?
Well, first of all, like I always tell people, you need to do what you love.
Yeah.
And the fact that I love to cook, the fact that it's passion, I was raised by a cooking mother, gave birth to Shamdul Food Hub.
So you started
My mom used to cook, and she used to pay her school fees with her food money. She used to vend in the market. She had a small stall where she would cook. I remember she used to cook only beef, beans. Yeah, like
Zanyeri.
No, Zanyeri was rare those days, the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2018 June is when I started it as a business, and that's when I quit my job and I said enough is enough. Let me now do my own things and see. I remember calling my uncle on the Friday of when I was going to resign. I met him somewhere and I told him, you know what, I know I've disappointed you because you're the one who took me to school and so, but I think I've tried enough. I want to do something I love. I want to do my own thing. So I said, what do you want to do? I said, I'm going to start operating a mobile restaurant. I'm going to cook from home and deliver to people. He was amazed.
Oh, really?
He was so happy.
I thought he was going to say,
no,
what is this thing of these young people? What do they want?
My uncle is the most supportive person I have in my life.
Because I was going to ask you how he feels right now. Now, I know
the person who feels terrible is actually my mom. She keeps saying, oh my God, you went to school and you're cooking, but she really doesn't know what I'm doing out there. She thinks maybe I am suffering, but she doesn't know that this is what I love to do.
So now you've told us the point at which actually you got into this, but now I graduate like you. At what point did you get and like, you know what, this is it, this is done, I'm done with the employment, let me get the other side? At what point of your life were you battling with something? I don't know. At what point did you decide to go on?
First of all, at my workplace or where I worked previously, my two work environments had not been really conducive. I felt at some point people were not treating me well. I felt people were stepping on me. You see that, like, I wasn't comfortable. And for me, my principle is when you're not comfortable, don't be there. Leave it. So when I felt really it was too much for me, and you go to work, you wake up, dress up and show up, and you come home really stressed. The next morning you have to wake up and go to that same environment. To me, it was not worth it. It's not worth it. So,
I know exactly what you're talking about, because sometimes I wake up in the morning, I'm like, the routine is take shower, go to office. Take shower, go to office. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
And working for people who are self-centered and they're all about themselves is the worst thing that would ever happen to anyone. So one day I just woke up and just said, enough is enough. This is Shamdul, you need to try something else.
Wow, this is amazing. Now, what is that one advice that, or the secret you had? Like, okay, everyone has a different secret, but the courage to walk out comfortably, to resign and walk and start doing something that you're not even sure of.
Well, one thing is I am someone who is so fearless, and if I set my mind to something, I'm going to do it. This is not being a motivational speaker, but by the time I was leaving my job and saying, okay, I am going to start cooking, I had about 200,000 in my account. But I knew I was going to survive. So I went for it. You can never be ready in life. You can never prepare enough. So I always tell people, you can start from where you are. And for businesses, it doesn't mean you should have $1 million or more before you start. We have businesses that do not even require a lot of capital.
Exactly.
I started very small, by the way. It was not something big. And the good thing about it all is that I had the social capital was there.
Yeah.
I knew people. I remember I have a friend in town who would say, like, she has food at her home, she has everything, but I would call her on those bad days. She's like, Shamdul, bring that food to my home, come and get the money.
Wow.
Like, she was trying to support me and support the business.
I think we all have that kind of person in our careers.
Yeah.
I remember there's one guy, drink water.
Yeah, I know him.
I think I'll always appreciate drink water. Man, big ups to you, bro. This guy, every time I started the business, this guy was the first person to attend and be there always. And we're not even so close.
Let me tell you, there was a day Drinkwater met me. I was very sick, and it was one of those days I delivered food. For me, I'm this person, I don't care if I'm sick or not. If I'm supposed to deliver, I go. So I cooked. So I was resting somewhere, and Drinkwater was like, may God bless your hustle. Because they know what it is. Yeah, he's a supportive guy.
Drinkwater, you understand the business. Thank you so much, bro. You know some person, and we hope. Now, speaking about actually you saying that whether you're sick or not, regardless of what happens, you are destined to work. Ladies and gentlemen, last year in December, and it was for me at this point that I actually had the conviction that I needed to interview this girl and share her story. Let me give you a little story about you. What happened? We're at the Afro branch at Coco Palm, and I told you guys about the story right here on the show, how it rained and disrupted the show. But something that amazed me so much was that I kept looking at Shamdul the entire time. This girl here was continuing to sell her food and continuing to serve clients, yet she's drenched in rain like all the way through from head to toe. This blew my mind. I looked at myself and asked myself, what is the excuse? Because for me, what reminded me immediately was my mom. My mom was a second-hand clothes seller, and she was the main breadwinner at home. So every time, whether she's sick, it doesn't matter. Whether she's, whatever it is, because there are 4 boys in the house who need to eat food, should go out there. And for me, when I looked at that, I got very emotional, and I was like, you know what? We need to give this girl a platform to shine, and that's the conviction. Now, my question is, at that point, in those kinds of moments, what actually is running through your mind when you're doing that? I also have my own moments where something's running through my mind, but for you, what is running through your mind in that kind of environment at that particular time?
Well, it's not easy. Sometimes I also get emotional, but like during that Afro branch, I really invested a lot, and I expected a lot of returns, because the previous one, I made money. Much as I didn't prepare, I made money. So this time, I was prepared.
Because it was big, well advertised.
Yeah, I organized platters and what. So when the rain came and washed everything away, I was like, okay, no matter what, I should get something. I should get at least half of my capital back. Like, the rain won't stop me.
Wow.
And I always keep encouraging myself at such moments that, like, better days are coming. These are tests to make you a better person, or to make you stronger. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, they say. So. And
were you able to at least make most of the money that night? At least make me feel better that you actually did.
No, I wasn't, but there's something amazing that happened. I had a friend who came from Kampala just to support me, to cook with me. I thank you, Esther Furaha. She came to help me. When in that mix, when I was running around trying to sell food, Dre of Esomat, I salute you. I love you so much. Dre came and told Esther, you know what? Whatever is there, like that oxtail that is full of rainwater, man, serve it out to my guys and give it, like, just give me the bill, I'll pay. And that is support. And that is what social capital can do to you out there. So I saw, like, Esther kept telling me, you know what, girl, after all this, all I can tell you is you're loved. People love you out there, and you're doing great. So after some time, I didn't mind. Losses are there. Business is a risk.
Wow. This
business
mindset is big.
Yeah.
This mindset is the most important mindset.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, you should, like, if I fail today, what can I do better tomorrow? And I knew, like, at Afro branch, we didn't have the shed, or we didn't prepare a lot, like, for calamities like that. But the next time I'm going to come full swing prepared, and
that's awesome.
That was a lesson.
What drives you to do more of this every day? Is it the love for the money? What drives you to do these things?
First of all, the thing is, I am a breadwinner. And I love to do things for myself. Growing up, I've experienced waiting, like you wait and you
For
sit and wait
things,
from someone. I don't think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that my mom looks up to me, my brother looks up to me, I have to take care of them, like gives me the motivation to wake up every morning and do something for myself. Like there are people out there who are looking up to me, and it gives me that motivation that I should do something. I am not trying to prove a point, but I want to be a better person. I want to be a better Shamdul of yesterday. Like if you met me tomorrow, be like, okay, this girl worked for this. And she deserves it.
Now, because of the line of duty you actually have, and we looked at, like, we've had this in discussion earlier. Do you have people who have negative perception about you and the hustle, what you've decided to do, especially your friends? Do people have funny negative opinions about you?
I've had people like, I know I have friends like those days when I started the hustle, it wasn't easy. Like the days you cook a kilo of meat and it doesn't get over, but you don't have capital for the next day. You're reaching out to friends like, yo guys, I'm failing, I need help. And they're like, Shamdul, why are you not applying? But what they don't know is get a life. Like, you girl, you went to school. You're not supposed to do this. But what they don't know is that it's a calling, it's a passion. And for me, it's not anything to be ashamed of. Going to the university is not an achievement. Anyone can go there, but what you do after that, if your job leaves you today, God forbid, what are you going to do with your life?
Exactly. You're speaking to someone who knows, because I've also dealt in the restaurant business, you remember? And we dealt with it. And I also understood the challenges of where today you buy food, probably doesn't even, like, you have to pack it,
and it goes bad,
and now you have to look for a fresh amount of money to start the next. My God. That takes me to the next question. But before I ask you the next question, ladies and gentlemen, we're proudly sponsored by Esomad Hypermarket or Supermarket in town, Arua. Let's move on, Shamdul. And my question for you is, what are the challenges of this business? I know we've talked a lot about challenges, but if you would name them, a few of them.
With food, people always go for the taste. Where you cook great food, people will come. And the challenge is like pricing, competition. And for us in Arua here, people are so confined in some setting that they believe a nice setup, a place that looks clean and is a bit organized, is very expensive. So people tend to run away. And I've encountered guys who tell me, Shamdul, what you're doing is good, but people will not come because they will think you're so expensive.
Looks too fancy.
But I refuse to settle for less because we're here to change the game. So for me, food business has challenges, but it cuts across. Sometimes the customers are not there. Sometimes food goes bad, and now times when food prices are hiked, you're finished. Like,
now you can't even all the time just increase the new price.
No. Nobody is going to buy that idea.
Like yesterday I bought things expensive. Yesterday you're buying beef at 2,000. Today's 3,000.
We're fighting about that. Like, why are you pricing it at this price when other people are giving us at 5,000, 4,000? But this is it. That's business. Those are some of the major challenges. And of course, with food, people are so careful that they are going to look for the tiniest details to pin you. So really,
currently, I'm actually marketing a certain restaurant, and I get a lot of such of these complaints, even on the most petty stuff. But they say the customer is the king. So you have to obey the customer.
True.
Now, we know that you, before you actually came here to be doing your food hub business, you actually, first of all, even before employment, you tried doing boutique business. You tried doing makeup business as well. There's so many young people that are going that direction so much these days. I was in Mbarara, I stayed for 2 years, and there's a whole arcade, actually Easy View complex. Easy View has every single place is almost either a boutique or a makeup place. Now I'm seeing the same thing in Arua. Now, what did you learn from these two businesses that you can share with these young people? And probably, did you fail in it? Why? if you wanted to succeed, why?
Well, let's start with the boutique business.
Yeah.
Boutique is a good business
Yeah.
because clothes don't go bad.
Yeah.
They can always be there, people can buy them. But they are going to tie your capital in one place,
Yeah.
and trends keep changing. So if you're this one who is venturing into first class, you're going to have a challenge. And you're renting a house of you're renting a room of 300,000.
Exactly.
But at the end of the month, you're not able to raise the rent.
In a week, you can't even
have to
sell
go
many
somewhere.
sometimes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like in January, from January to March, you're not making any sales.
Yeah.
And if you do not know people, nobody's going to come and buy unless you're really strategically located. And people go for these boutique businesses because they think this is where you don't apply a lot of logic and hassle.
Just buy clothes, sell, go home.
There is
Yeah.
Sorry to say, but I did not make money there, and I think that business is not a good business for someone who is really
Starting up
looking into growing and doing something for themselves.
Yeah.
I've not really seen a very successful boutique in Arua that has lasted the longest, apart from these really old boutiques that are selling.
Makutano, maybe. You know?
Maybe, yeah, I know Makutano.
I think he has tried the stage for like 5 years, I've seen now.
Yes. And then for
The makeup.
For makeup,
Yeah.
to me, this is not an everyday need.
Yeah.
And I also feel it's not something that would really grow me. I mean, like, people are not going to wake up every day and call me Shamdul, please come and do makeup for me, Shamdul. It's a side hustle for slaying, actually.
Wow.
It's not going to bring you.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
There is no money
that was
there.
Brutal.
Yes.
It's a business for slayers. Wow.
That is very true. Unless you've really invested in it, you've gone to. I've seen 2 girls in this town who are doing it, and I think they're making money. And I really sometimes wish people would go their direction. You need to invest a lot in makeup for you to make money. You're not going to wake up and go and do a course of 150, then come back and say, I'm a makeup artist. And no.
Shamdul is going raw on all of you. Listen carefully.
And you know why? People are doing businesses in town because they think their friends will support them.
Yeah.
And people are going into, I always tell people, business is passion.
Yeah.
Doing business is doing what you love. You see? Like sometimes it's just turning what you love into a money-making mechanism. You see that?
Anyway.
Business is a calling, guys. Business is a calling. It's not just anything that everyone can do. No, that's why we're failing miserably. You see that?
When we were business people,
When
we
you
look
see,
cool in
no,
front of our friends. You know
no,
what I
we're
mean?
seeing these business people cruising and what, but it's a calling.
It's something they actually
That's
love.
why you're saying someone who has not gone to the university is owning flats in town.
Yeah.
Then there is you who has gone to the university and you're opening up a boutique and you think you'll be that. No, it's a calling.
And it takes a lot of time and patience, you know.
If you do not have that patience, don't try business.
That takes me to the question of that we argued so much earlier before we came here. And my question is, you worked for someone for a long time.
Yes,
now
I
you're on
did.
your own. And the question is, what would you advise someone between employment and self-employment? Where would you go?
Me as Shamdul, I always tell people, even if you woke me up one morning on a Monday morning and said, Shamdul, this is your office space, this is your desk, you're supposed to sit here, I'm never going back.
Wow.
I am never going back.
Wow.
Because to me, that is not where my calling lies. But we're different people, guys.
Yeah.
You can have a business.
What works for you may not work for someone else.
Yeah, you can have a business and you can also be working for someone as you run your business.
Yeah.
Or you can be employed somewhere and not do a business and you still be okay. But always first go for what works best for you.
Yeah.
For me, I will stick to the hustling part.
This is a very big moment for me to think about my life again. One more time, I think.
No, as long as
that I
you're
need to review.
comfortable.
I understand.
Yeah.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, as we get close to the end of this interview now, I would like to let Shamdul go. And she's a very busy person, and she works a lot during the day, so she deserves all the rest in this world. And I'm going to give people later on an iceberg, something funny, and they'll laugh about it probably. But before we get there, I would like to understand from you that you're someone who is on the right journey, where I keep saying this. Probably you're going to be a millionaire, billionaire, whatever money you
Amen, I receive.
make. There are a lot of motivational speakers who think they've made it out there. What are the things about motivational speaking, especially about these rich, wealthy people that you disagree with the most? That are disturbing young people, they're confusing us.
Okay, sometimes we keep posting about them and we say they're scam.
Yeah.
Man, guys, those motivations sometimes, no, they don't work. I mean, people are not telling us the truth. People are not telling us what to do, like where to fish from. You see that?
Yeah.
So, guys, motivation alone does not work.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us one more time. My name is Joshua Koko, and this is the HardLock podcast. We've literally come to the end of the interview. I've really learned so much today from Shamdul. And the thing I was telling you that now I'm going to ask Shamdul to give a final message later and speak to people who love her, market her brand as well later. But something I told you I was going to make you laugh is that something crazy, myself and Shamdul, for as long as we've known each other, now these are like 7 years or so, because I think we met back in the days. Ladies and gentlemen, we never vibed with this girl. This is the very first time me and Shamdul are sitting in the same room and having conversation ever. Like it was so bad that you know, like you don't have issues, like you just don't vibe. Like
Yeah.
Like you go into a room and you find 3 people. Shamdul is number 4. You go, you greet the third, 1, 2, 3, and then you stare at each other. But man, I just didn't know how much I was missing, yo. This is I think if I was closer to you then, I think I wouldn't even be here. I think I would have learned life in a different perspective, man.
We're now here.
Man, here we are. Thank you so much. Now,
Thank you too.
here you go. Camera number 1, camera number 2. Look into each of you, any of it for you. Have fun and talk to your fans, your people you love so much, especially the other camera there, and sell your brand to the people.
Okay. Guys, thank you so much for watching the HardLock podcast. By the way, I didn't tell you that I used to be called the girl who has seen it all. And why I'll tell you, like, people used to wonder, why are you called the girl who has seen it all? Like, growing up, man, guys, I went through a lot. Like, we were from the humblest of the background, but here I am. Like, I've seen pain, I've seen happiness, I've seen everything. I've really gone through a lot, but here I am, and it has taught me so much, and it has made me the strong woman that I am. And I just want to thank you guys for supporting the brand Shamdul. We're located at Afra Road behind Bank of Uganda. We're going to put up a signpost that we're trying to rebrand the place and make it look more comfortable. We thank you for the support, and it's because of you that I keep growing daily. We keep growing. The brand Shamdul keeps growing. Joshua, thanks for hosting me.
You're welcome.
This is like a dream come true.
Wow.
I am so grateful.
Wow.
And I hope we impacted in someone, and thanks for watching. And
Okay,
be blessed.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much one more time for joining us. My name is Joshua Koko, and this is a HardLock podcast. We've come to the end of it. Of course, you know, Shamdul is not going to start performing here as we normally do. She's not going to start cooking because now she's also a performer. No, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining. My name is Joshua Koko. I so much appreciate you for coming here. Until we meet next time, bye-bye. Shamdul, thank you so much for coming, and have a very fantastic evening.